Well, happy Friday, everyone, and it is a glorious rainy Friday here in downtown Jackson, but that's okay because we have sunshine in the studio today, right?
Hey,
Yes.
That's right. We do have some special guests here, and then we have another call-in guest that we'll be getting to here in just a little bit. But we are going to be talking today with these guests about celebration coming up, not this weekend, but 2 weeks from...
2 weeks.
2 weeks from tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And that will be Pride in the Park right here in Jackson, which has gone from... Well, I think you kind of started it a little bit, Betty, and then it's gone...
Yes, our
Crazy.
local chapter of the GSA, the Gay Straight Alliance, it's part of a national organization. Mm-hmm. GSA started about 6 years ago, and it was just a small event.
Yeah.
They wanted to do a community service project that promotes visibility for the LGBTQ community, and we didn't have a Pride at the Park or a Pride Festival, so we just thought we would rent out the shelter house, reserve it, and then...
Like a little awareness thing.
And
except for it...
it's been growing. Each year it's been growing, and we are a student-led nonprofit organization, so we can't accept donations. Of any kind. My capacities as an advisor is very limited, but I spoke with the GSA group and said, it's a chance for Pride at the Park to really thrive under the direction of community members, and that way they could accept donations or they could expand it. So these two, along with a couple of others, have been so enthusiastic and graciously have offered their time and guidance. And
that's awesome.
It's growing beyond belief. I'm so excited for it, although I'm going to miss it.
Well, that's okay. Well, I'll tell you what. If you would, we need to back up a bit and introduce yourselves.
I'm Jeff Seitz. I live here local in Jackson. I also represent the Wellston Community of Christ.
And I'm Dale Likens. I represent kind of the open table here in Jackson, and I have connections with Jackson, been family and personally too. So I jumped in when I saw on Facebook that Betty was asking for help. And other people were saying, I'll help. And I thought, well, I can convene everybody. And then I ended up, I'm still doing it.
You just can't get out of it. That's right.
But I've had a lot of fun.
Dale is also an award-winning author.
Oh.
Yes,
you get my book at Bookish and Elizabeth Flowers right here in Jackson.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we don't pay some bills, Adrian's going to get mad at me. Yes. And, of course, Betty Miller, and you are a teacher at JHS.
I teach at Jackson High School, and I am the Gay Straight Alliance advisor.
Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a break, and we'll be back, and we're going to talk about all things Pride in the Park. It'll be fun.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with our friends, and we are going to be talking about, the events of Pride in the Park. And Betty, let's talk with you first about how, I know you kind of mentioned it a little bit ago, but you started with the student organization with this, do we call it a celebration? Do we call it what do we call it, an event?
Festival?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So you started this, how long ago did the kids start this?
So 6 years ago, a student approached our administration and asked if they could start a Gay Straight Alliance chapter. And that was 2019. I was probably the obvious choice to ask because my son had just graduated in 2018, Maya, as the first openly gay valedictorian of Jackson High School. So they sent they said, could you advise the GSA? And of course I jumped on it because any chance to, I think, foster visibility and awareness, acceptance in our community for the LGBTQ community. I think is a great opportunity, and little by little, the chapter has grown at the high school. So,
And here's the thing, it's not a chapter for gay students, like
No.
anyone. There's
No,
like lots of, it's about acceptance.
I would
and-
actually say our makeup is like of our GSA. We have about 60 members, and probably I would say 30 or 40 of those members do not identify with the LGBTQ community. They are allies, and they are very fierce allies.
I
So,
love that word.
I
love that
I
ally
love
word.
that our administration at Jackson High School, the Jackson City School District has always been really supportive of our chapter and of the things that we do. And I think that we have to be more proactive in establishing visibility and awareness in the community in order to keep our LGBTQ kids, to have them be able to see reflections of themselves in the community and the jobs and things like that is really critical. And I think that reaching out to the community, get a more community-focused base will foster that awareness and still give GSA a nice bite of presence. The mere presence of a GSA chapter at a high school or middle school reduces LGBTQ bullying by over 40%. Imagine what it can do in the community when we see
Agreed.
That visibility and acceptance in the community, and how many more people would feel accepted, or parents like myself. I'm an ally, but when it comes to LGBTQ issues, that's my son that people are talking about.
For sure.
And definitely, I'd be
You
willing
go mama
to,
bear,
to,
right
to
quick.
take a bullet for my son if I ever
Yeah.
had to. But for moms like me, seeing a rainbow flag on somebody's porch or a pride festival, it just makes me feel like, hey, my kid's going to make it in this world. I mean, he's not a kid anymore. He's
He's always your kid. He's always
that's
going to
right.
be your kid. Yeah. That's fine. And so, Dale, you've been here before, and we talked about,
Yeah.
your story. And, it was a story of well, you've had a long story, but,
Yes,
you were
lots
a
of
pastor
winding.
here in town, and then became open about your
Yes, it's been about 6 years now.
Yeah.
When I came out as a gay man
Yeah.
myself, and I'm living an open life.
and weren't necessarily as accepted as I feel like you should have been. That's my personal belief. And so then you took it, though, not to a dark place. You took it to a light place, and you
A sparkly place.
You did. But no, so you started something of acceptance, and I think that's so amazing.
Right, yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
this whole group here together is, so good because it's just everybody working together and
And it took-
bringing awareness and acceptance.
It took me 55 years to kind of wrestle with my truth and accepting that.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking when Betty was talking, the presence of a GSA in my school would have maybe made a huge difference, or having more awareness in the places that I grew up in. So it is important. Very important.
And one of the things that I think is so important is that not just students at the high school, but community members see that visibility and acceptance, because otherwise we get people migrating to more city or urban areas
Sure.
like Columbus or things like that.
Because let's be
to find
honest, we're
that.
pretty conservative around here.
sure.
I mean, it's Southern
very hard
Ohio.
in rural Ohio to.
Yeah, it really is, particularly, I think, in the political climate right now, that, puts a target on the back of LGBTQ kids. It's really difficult.
It's hard enough to be a kid, let alone
Yeah,
have
exactly.
something else to combat.
Right.
Exactly, and that was the primary reason for the GSA was that these kids are going through all the things that everybody's kids are going through. High school crushes, dances,
Oh, yes.
test anxiety, social anxieties.
gosh.
But then when you throw on top of that, people who who don't quite understand that in addition to all of those other stressors, you have this pocket of people who are just throwing hate. And, a group like this or a GSA kind of puts up a shield for a little bit and allows them to, figure out their who they are and their own truth. And
Well, and it's been amazing, I think, as we've opened that up to a more community-based festival this year.
Sure.
The support of the community has been really amazing, and which we're
That's
going to
great.
talk about, I'm sure. But it's just I just want to underscore that.
Well, I just don't understand at the end of the day, we are all the same creatures. I mean, we're all human beings that have hearts and we love our families and, all of the things. So why does somebody get picked on? I don't understand it. And it's, I just don't understand why we can't all love each other and get along. Why? Why is that an issue?
Well, I think those deeply ingrained traditions and cultural, Appalachian cultural values kind of clash with, they see it as more of a progressive stance.
I think so,
too
but we're
wonder-
also a very kind community
We
where
are.
we should be more accepting.
And I will say, when my son came out to me, I was so very worried. Actually, he didn't come out to me. I was like, I know you're gay, buddy. but
you called him out.
I wanted to do a whole video to I'm coming out. But he's like, no. But at the same time, one of the things that I think I grossly represented in the wrong capacity was I was so worried about the community backlash when in actuality when he did come out, the Jackson community was fabulous.
Good.
Yeah.
The people,
Love
the number of people who supported him, and it kind of made my mama heart, feel a
Sure,
little
you
bit
swell.
safer.
Yeah.
To know that. We may be a conservative community, but we're not a mean community. We're not a hateful community.
and I hope not.
Very good.
And
Shame on us
actually,
if we are.
I don't technically believe we are a conservative community. If you look at the voting stats on record,
more
but I
diverse
consider
voting,
that voting apathy. Not that we're conservative. You might have 80% of people voting red, but when you have the number of people voting at 3,000, when we live in a town that has, 14,000, that's apathy. That's not deeply red.
Yeah. Well, very good. Well, let's talk about how this group has come together and what that means for this celebration.
Well, mostly it kind of came about with Betty reaching out and asking for help as far as the high school kids wanting extra help to make the event bigger, and
Yeah.
Bear was explaining the process of they're limited to what they could do, and so I along with a couple other people that have a Facebook group for Jackson, it's Jackson LGBT group. I'd posted on there, what we're looking for, and I don't know if that's how Dale got into seeing it, and then
Okay.
he started interacting, and then kind of from there we, between Dale, me, and a few other people, we decided, okay, well, we want to step in, we want to help, so we called a meeting, invited people on the Facebook group. We tried to set up some meetings, but most of our meetings we've all done through Zoom just because it's been harder, but we've been cramming a lot in such a short amount of
Sure.
time. I mean, we've only had a couple months to kind of work on putting it together, but as Dale said earlier, we've had a very good outpour of support from the community. We've had quite a bit of people that's tuned in to be vendors to set up this year, more than what we've had in the past.
Great.
The one girl that's in with us helping us, she wasn't able to be here this morning, but she's done a lot of good footwork for us as far as getting a web page together, an email.
Good to have friends like that,
Yes.
isn't it?
And I've kind of collaborated with people from the other Pride events to get vendors lists together, the vendor applications and things like that as well to get stuff together.
And I was telling them, the amount of vendors that we've had in the past, we might have had one or two vendors.
Okay.
But this year alone, they have managed, and it's been all of them doing it, to get so many more vendors to come into Pride at the Park. I don't know if you want to give those people a shout out right now, but I'm gonna tell you, folks, what if you are supporting the LGBTQ community, I'm gonna come in your store and I'm gonna buy some stuff. And if you are somebody who doesn't, I'm gonna tell all my friends not to. It's about time that we make that economic case for the LGBTQ community in Jackson, and it is a big difference. It's huge. If you foster acceptance, promote visibility, I'm more likely to shop with you and have coffee with you.
And I've always been, as a business owner, somebody that I want to preach like acceptance. And acceptance of every thing. I can remember having a black girl come to me, and she said, a server, and we had hired her, and she said, my last job, I literally had tables that would not allow me to serve them. And I was like, you what? And I was like, oh, just have somebody do that here because they ain't going to eat here anymore. Like, that's not okay. And there's just that's not okay. None of it is okay. So acceptance is key, and support and all of that. And I just always believed in that. We only have a few minutes left, so let's talk about the event. And yeah, you can give a shout out to whoever you guys like.
We'll go to the other stuff since we're running low on time. The main event itself is going to be it's June 14th. It starts at noon and goes to around 4 o'clock. It's going to be at Manpower Park. The day after, June 15th, it's also Father's Day. That evening, we're going to be holding a Pride church service that evening.
Okay.
We're cooperating with a couple other churches and organizations within Jackson to put that together to make it a community-based event with other churches that support the LGBT within our community, so that there's more awareness out there to the community that there are churches that do accept this and will bring us in. That's going to be held at the Wellston Community of Christ in Wellston, that's on Radcliffe Lane. But for the event itself, for the Pride event, we're going to have live music and stuff this year, which is
live music is a great addition. Yeah, it's great.
We've never had that before, so we're going to have that. We're going to have some other fun-filled activities and stuff going on. As we said before, we're going to have different vendors than we've had before.
This year they're going to have food trucks.
Yes, we're going to have food trucks and stuff this year, which is a new addition.
Sweet.
One of the things I do want to give a shout out to is we recently had a student. He is a junior, Cannon Stifler. He is an executive member of the GSA board. He wrote a book.
Yes, we need to have him on, by the way.
It's called The Truth. And I am so proud of Cannon.
Yes.
Because speaking your truth can be scary. And Cannon has been openly out for quite some time. But to put it in words and to let the public know, I think that's
I think it's
a
very
great
enlightening.
testimony.
Yeah.
That he feels safe in this community. So props to the community. And you're always going to have pockets of people who, are let's not do that. But
and
at
then
the same time,
if there's anybody that's wanting any more information or anything about the event, the information can be found on our webpage, which is Pride in Jackson, all lowercase, .bigcartel.com. When you get on there, it's got our vendor stuff. It's got our list of sponsors as well. We keep adding to that as we continue to get more sponsors. It's also got the different events and things that will be going on that day. We've also got a section for donations. If there's anybody in the community or businesses or organizations and you would like to make a contribution donation, you can do that on the webpage as well. And then if there's anybody that's interested in being a vendor at the event, you can reach out to us on there or through our email. Our email is prideandjackson@gmail.com. Again, that's all lowercase as well.
And this is a county, county
absolutely.
Pride Park. So
we just have to have a cool park.
We want to encourage people from, Vinton County or just surrounding communities to come out and just have a day of celebration.
Absolutely.
And enjoy the
We're
various
also
events.
working on getting Pride merchandise
The
together.
website is in the comments.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're also working on getting merchandise put together for the Pride event that can be on the webpage, but right now it is not up on the webpage
Oh,
yet.
okay.
We're getting quotes for some of that to see what we can kind of work
And I
with for
do
this
believe
year.
the logo. You went with JC's logo.
Yes.
She
At the
created
high
the
school,
design.
JC Hively was on the executive board of the GSA, and she designed the logo. So that's gonna.
Oh, love that.
Well, that's not the one she designed.
No, she created. She did the
Right,
concept.
Right, the concept of it. But the idea was to include something that represents, the Jackson County community, but also the Pride Festival.
And we just
Very
felt it was
good.
important that it be the students still had that involvement. And
Right.
Absolutely.
allowing them to come up with the concept of design.
Well, this is amazing, and we hope that everybody gets out and shows solidarity and shows support, and again, just love your fellow man.
I would love to give some of these folks a shout out,
Sure.
like people in the community. Tina Russell Peck.
Yep.
Jackson Democratic Party, thank you for your donation. Wellston Community of Christ, the JHS GSA Open Table, the Dog Pound, Apple City Players, who's handling all of the decorations. They have really stepped up. Props to you. Liz Frisbee from Flowers and Gifts, Heather Barker, Rainy Sunday Cupcakes. Heather Waugh with the Corley Canvas Art, Jason Seitz Photography, Fab D Boutique, Cannon Stifler, who's our local author, it will be a vendor setting up, selling his book.
Don't
and
mention that one yet.
Okay.
They don't want it yet.
So all of these folks have, in some capacity, showed their support for Pride at the Park, and we truly appreciate it. And I want to make sure that community members know, like, if you need some flowers, drop by Elizabeth's, or if you want to, these are people who are supporting all members of our community.
And once again, if people do want to donate or help out, where do they go? Is that the website that Liv
They
posted?
can go onto the web
Okay.
page. There's a link on the main page that says
Okay.
donations, and they can go right there to do a donation.
Perfect.
Do not write any checks to Betty, because Betty's going on a trip and I'll spend them. Or gamble them. Gamble.
Oh, jeez.
Little gamble.
Put it all on black or red, right?
Yeah, no, I'm like, max bet.
Max button. I get it. All right. Well, very good. I wish we had, all day to talk with you, but will y'all come back sometime and we can talk some more? It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Would love to hear what you have to say. So, all right. Well, we do have another guest, I believe, waiting in the wings, and so this will be via kind of a Zoom call, and we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things that are going on in Chillicothe. And one that Success is involved in, which is the BrewFest coming up here. So it's always, man, they started that a couple of years ago, and that thing exploded. And I've never seen a beer festival blow up the way that one
I love
did.
when Sixth Sense hosts the Bring Your Dog.
Oh, yeah. So that's a thing, too, where I'm working with Jen
like
right now on that.
That's the best. Unfortunately, my dogs can't go because they're unruly, and that's all my fault. All my fault. But
No, we're working on that as well. So there you go. But so we'll be finding out all about that. Thank you all so much for spending your morning with us. We greatly
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
thanks. Come out and support the LGBTQ community at Pride
That's
at
right.
the Park, June 14th, 12 to 4. Listen to some good music. Celebrate with some friends.
Yeah.
Eat.
Great fellowship.
yeah.
It'll be good.
Yep.
All right.
Be great.
Cool. All right. Well, we will be back right after this.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
You were muted, sorry.
Oh, hi, Tiffany. Welcome.
Hi, I couldn't hear you. I got nervous for a second.
It's because Adrian put the mute button on, but we'll forgive him this time. No, welcome back. I know you've been here before with us, and you have some really fun special events that are going on in Chillicothe that we want our viewers to know about. So I will turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me again. I like being on with you.
It's our pleasure.
So yeah, thanks. So yes, I think we're going to talk about Chillicothe BrewFest, which is coming up on June 7th. So next Saturday. Yeah, it's our 3rd year. So we have a lot of.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I was just going to say, I remember when the initial meeting for the BrewFest, I happened to be there for part of that, and I was like, guys, it's gonna be rough. Like it's hard to put these things together and get people to join, and then all of a sudden it just blew up. I mean, you all just killed it. It was awesome.
Yeah. We were super happy with our turnout too. So from year 1 to year 2, we doubled our size. So
yes.
we had over 1,200 people last year attend our event. So I know we were super happy with that turnout. Maybe it'll be even bigger this year. Obviously, that's what we're hoping for. This year, though, we've added different elements because we try to step it up every year as you do with events because you want them to try to grow anyway. So this year, in addition to beer, and we had a cidery last year. Well, actually had a cidery both years, but this year we've added a couple more cideries. So we have more of an option for cider. We are adding wine this year. So we have 3 wineries coming. And last year also was the first year that we had a local distillery, Pabst Hilltop Distillery. But we're adding somebody else that's bringing bourbon this year. So we've got everything: wine, spirits, beer, cider.
That's awesome. And I'll be honest with you, I've worked a lot of these beer fests, and I don't know that I've really been to one where it's been so diverse. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, for instance, I'm not a beer drinker, so this would be right up my alley because my husband enjoys beer. So now I have an opportunity to enjoy things. And we've got like White Claw, we'll have that there also. Like if somebody would want a seltzer, we have a non-alcoholic beer for the non-alcoholic drinkers. And we also have, I know, right? Chillicothe. It's one of our local brick and mortars downtown, but they also have a food truck, even though it's like coffee drinks, but she'll be making some drinks too. So we're trying to hit everybody.
I think that's amazing. And actually, it's so funny that you're here today because my husband and I were just talking about the festival last night and how it just blew up and how successful it's been. And so with these brew festivals, a lot of times they have to be kind of done in conjunction with a group or as a fundraiser for something. So what is kind of the main cause behind this?
Okay, so Downtown Chillicothe, the organization, it's a nonprofit that I'm the program manager for. We put on this event. What Downtown Chillicothe does is tries to continue the revitalization of our historic downtown by attracting new investors to our downtown, by making sure that the community has lots of people that come to our community to spend their their money.
That's
So
the
we
point,
want to
right?
make it, I know, right? We want to make it attractive and hip and a community that's happening. So events are just one of the many things that we do. But with that, the money that we raise from these events goes back directly into our downtown. So if we write a grant, for instance, and we're doing a project and we don't have enough money, grant money to cover that project, now we have excess funds that we can put towards these projects to finish out the project and make it complete. So things also like the flowers in the downtown or Christmas lights in the downtown, all of this money goes back into that.
You know, and you all have, again, Chillicothe has done such an amazing job of taking a downtown and revitalizing it. And I know it's always a work in progress, but think how far you all have come. And, you know, it is such a treat to go on like a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon and, you know, just sit on the benches out there and just see the people kind of like walking around. There's bakeries and you have the candy store and the breweries and there's food. And I mean, it's just so much shopping and fun stuff to do. And that's the point of a downtown. It should be that you can go park and just walk around and enjoy it.
Right. I agree for sure. And then we try to do things that enhance it too. So, you know,
Sure.
in a lot of communities, they have like, I don't want to call them selfie stations, but like different places people go to like take selfies. Like, I think there's a community and I can't remember where it is. They have like umbrellas hanging in the alley or whatever.
Yes.
So we're trying to do different things like that also that give the kids a cool opportunity to start doing some social media posts to kind of get more recognition for downtown Chillicothe.
Absolutely.
Right.
So,
and
Jamie, my husband and I happened to be sitting in 50 West, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, and I look over, and it was like dinner and a show because the kids were all getting their prom pictures taken in front of the beautiful, I guess that would be like the
courthouse. The
courthouse. Okay. And it's such a lovely backdrop for that. But it was so fun for us because we got to sit there and see the kids and they're all dressed up and they were so excited. And, you know, that's what downtown communities should be. And it was really cool to see that.
I can't believe you were here for that weekend because that was brave to come out that week. Because not only are there hordes of people. Okay. I was going to say you were really brave because obviously they're looking for places to eat too. So who knows where they were going to go eat. Well, that's cool that you got to experience that. So I don't know if you noticed, since you were sitting in the window, in front of the courthouse is a kiosk. I don't know if you happened to see that. It's a digital kiosk. That downtown Chillicothe, that's okay. Downtown Chillicothe got a grant. It was a T-Mobile grant, hometown grant for $50,000. And we were able to install this double-sided kiosk that's multilingual. And basically what it's doing is advertising for the businesses. So you can go up to the kiosk, type in, maybe you're looking for restaurants. So type in restaurants and it'll bring up all the restaurants in the downtown. Choose where you want to go, hold your cell phone up to the kiosk, and then it'll put the directions directly onto your phone. So you can start walking.
That's cool.
But it also has a selfie feature on there. Again, trying to attract these kids and give something fun for the kids to do because then they can send the selfie photo directly to them and then post it on social media or whatever they want to do with it. So yeah, I didn't know if you happened to see that.
No, but I will the next time I'm there, which is frequently, by the way.
That's good.
So, no, I feel like our 50 West friends come to our place and then we go to the 50 West, but in Old Capitol as well. But so let's get back to the Beer Fest for a minute. Now, am I wrong in saying that you're moving?
Yeah, no, you're correct.
Okay.
So downtown Chillicothe, because again, everything that we do is try to be in the best interest of our businesses in the downtown. So we had a lot of conversations about street closures and the many street closures that were back to back, especially right now. So we had major street closures last week. It's coming up this week. Next week, we have 3 days in a row and then the week after. So there were like 4 weeks in a row. We were on North Paint Street and now we've decided to move to the Majestic Courtyard. And so we're going to use the courtyard and the parking lot behind the courtyard and not have any street closures. Yeah. And so after we measured it, I think it's going to be just about the same amount of space in those two areas if you would take the whole block of North Paint between Water and Second. So I think it's going to be same. It's just going to be spaced out a little bit differently. Yes, but you're right. We're moving.
And then it makes, the local businesses more accessible, which is super duper cool. And that's what it's all about, is bringing people to the area so that they can, well, let's be honest, spend some money and check out all the local things that you have to offer. So that's really fun. And that Majestic Theater, just that whole area there with I call it the grassy knoll, and that's not right, but my husband's like, oh my gosh. But I was like, oh no, I think that's great to have it, there in the grass, and it will be so accessible. And I think it's just a great place to have that.
Right. I agree. So in the grassy area, we'll have a huge 20 by 40 tent where people can sit underneath that for some shade, listen to the bands. So we'll have two bands playing, Peach Jam, and then they start at 1:30, and then at 4:30 is Basement Collective. They'll finish out the evening for us. And then we put a couple of the vendors, I'm calling them vendors. That's a loose term, but that's like where the food and a couple of the breweries, wineries, whatnot will be in the grassy area, and like some cornhole and maybe a large Jenga, that kind of thing. And then in the parking lot are the rest of the beer, wineries, food, and things like that. So I know there's a fence that kind of divides the two areas, the parking lot and the grass, but there's gates on each side that will have open, so people will be able to mingle all the way around. Yeah.
Very cool.
Right. So, and then kind of also going along the lines of just like tapping into our local brick and mortars. So our events, we try to only offer food from our local brick and mortars, or at least give them the opportunity to be the only ones presenting food at our events. So at BrewFest, we'll have Poorhouse, Lea Vita, and Bell Farms there with food. So we won't actually have food trucks. It'll be our locals coming.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so how do people, are tickets still available? Can people still buy them?
They are. So they can either go to the Downtown Chillicothe Facebook page, or we actually have a Chillicothe BrewFest Facebook page. They can always contact me. And if you go to Downtown Chillicothe, all my information's on there. My cell, my email, all of that. I don't care how they get a hold of me. That's fine. But there are also the link to our ticket sales that are on both of those sites. And they can call me and I will give them a paper ticket if they want to pay cash or something like that. But yeah, you can still get tickets now. General admission is $30 if it's in advance. If you pay at the door, that does go up to $40 for general admission. And general admittance is at 3:00. And with that, they get 16 tastings. And so they'll get 2 cups at the event. They'll get a 5-ounce cup, which will be for beer and cider, and they'll get a 1-ounce cup, which is for wine and spirits. So you can use 16, however you want to mix that up. And then VIP you can get now and at the door, but there are limited number on VIP tickets, and those are $50, whether you buy them now or at the door. And so with the VIP ticket, you get 20 tastings, and you also get a lanyard, which you can attach your BrewFest cup to, and it's kind of cool.
That's handy.
So you can eat. I know, right?
Yeah.
It's right there.
Just let it hang.
And a swag bag. So t-shirt, we do have t-shirts, but they all needed to be ordered ahead of time. So we will not have any for sale at the event. So that date's already come and gone with the t-shirts, but yeah, and then a couple of other ticket options we do have a DD ticket. So that's $10. Like if, somebody's pregnant and they want to come enjoy it with their spouse or whatever, or you are the DD, you get 5 tastings with that ticket for the $10. And then we have a last call ticket, which they have admittance at 5. I'm having to think, there's so many numbers going through my head. They can come in at 5:00, and that ticket is $20. But they still get the same 16 tastings. So, I mean, I hope they're not like chugging it like within that hour and a half, because last call's at 6:30.
Well, here's the deal, though. I know that's a ticket, but I've been to the BrewFest, and if I were you, I wouldn't wait until 5 because, depending on how many people are there and whatever, there are places that you might want to sample their goods that they might not have that exact one that you want anymore, right? Because it's very possible that the breweries can run out. So I would definitely suggest getting there early.
I agree, for sure. When they're out. So yeah.
You got it. Well, very good. And so get those tickets, and the BrewFest is this coming weekend, correct? This coming Saturday?
No, not this, next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
So not tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
The following, the 7th, June 7th.
That's right. I don't know why. So I just got back from vacation, and I'm so confused what day it is. So I'm thinking today's like Wednesday, but it's not.
I know.
So, yeah. But
okay.
So yeah, the following Saturday, so a week from tomorrow.
Yes, you got it.
Very good. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we appreciate you stopping by, and keep up the good work with Downtown Chillicothe, because you all are doing amazing things, and I hope everybody comes out and appreciates the work that you all are putting in, because it's really cool.
Yeah, we're happy to have everybody. Thank you.
All right. Well, come back and see us anytime.
Okay. You have a good weekend.
You too. And we're going to be back with some news right after this message.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Pete Wilson, who has a stack of news there and is chomping at the bit to tell you all about it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to start off with some problems that occurred out on the highway, U.S. Route 35, yesterday afternoon. Yes. We had a high-speed chase / two-car crash out there. Correct. This occurred late afternoon on U.S. Route 35. It started about 4 miles east of the Ross County line in the westbound lanes, okay? And what happened was an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper attempted to pull an SUV over for a alleged following too close violation, which, fairly minor violation. Well, the driver of the vehicle instead sped away. And so a auto pursuit ensued. Speeds reported up to 100 miles per hour. Now, I know that U.S. Route 35 is a big 4-lane highway, but it's heavily traveled, and you have a lot of vehicles out there.
100 miles an hour is a lot.
Sometimes in both lanes and like that. So about 6 miles down the road, which would be maybe 5 or 6 miles west of Jackson, I don't have a reference point as far as an intersection, this SUV that was being pursued rear-ended another vehicle, caused that vehicle to cross the median and wreck in the westbound lanes.
Oh no!
The other vehicle that was on the run swerved to avoid stop sticks, which the patrol had put out, to flatten the tires or whatever. That's a common maneuver done to stop somebody who is endangering others with their speed, and they're not stopping. And he was able to get stopped safely and was arrested. That man who has been arrested is James Walker, age 28, of Dayton. There he is right there.
James, not good.
And he was charged with a number of traffic and drug-related charges. Some of the particulars on the drug charges can't tell you specifically about why he was charged, but I can tell you what he was charged with. That information was released. He has been charged with possession of drugs, trafficking of drugs, failure to comply. That's basically trying to run from the cops. Also, tampering with evidence, aggravated vehicular assault, and child endangerment. He is incarcerated in the Jackson County Correctional
Wait,
Facility.
back up. Child endangerment?
Child endangerment. The reason for that, I can surmise, is that in his car there was a 28-year-old woman from Dayton and a 6-year-old child. So my guess is the child endangerment charge is that he put this child in danger with his actions. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but that's probably it, or could be it, all right? So Mr. Walker was not hurt. However, the woman that was in his car, who was, let's see, her name was Miracle Evans, also from Dayton, age 28. She was seriously injured in the wreck. The gentleman who was driving the SUV that got rear-ended, his name was Gene Burgum Jr. He's from Chillicothe. He was seriously injured. They were both taken to Holzer Medical Center, Jackson Hospital. Don't have any information whether, they were transferred from there, but their injuries were believed to be serious. The child, the 6-year-old child that was in the car with Mr. Walker and Miracle, suffered a minor injury and was also taken to Holzer. So 3 different people hurt, 2 of them, 2 of them seriously. And I can only guess that on the drug charges, even though this was not detailed, there must have been drugs in the vehicle. And if there is a sufficient amount of drugs in the vehicle, they surmise that you're trafficking.
Yes.
So that's probably it. We'll see how that plays out.
Okay.
But a lot of people, of course, noticed that. Busy U.S. Route 35, one lane in each direction, because remember, the one vehicle went over into the westbound lanes. While they were investigating and cleaning it up, about 1 hour. I understand the road remained open, but one lane was closed in both directions. So I'm sure a little bit of a lineup of traffic there and slowdown of traffic, and a lot of people, I'm sure, noticed that, because that is, we're not the city, but that would be rush hour traffic, I guess you could say, if you're coming to or from Jackson or Chillicothe. And as we know, we have a lot of folks that work out of town and head that direction to work. So that story with all the details will be in our Saturday edition of the paper. We'll have it posted online later today as well. All right, tomorrow there could be a big event at Manpower Park. Remember several weeks ago, I can't remember the date. Actually, it was more like almost 2 months ago. They had a rally, a demonstration there over public education funding.
Yes, I do remember that.
All right. Well, they're going to do that again. They're calling it a Day of Action rally. That will be one of the issues, but probably not the only issue where there will be a demonstration. Of course, the public education funding, that situation with some alterations in what was negotiated did turn out to be a little bit better for public schools. However, the final budget has not been approved. The House has approved its version of the budget. The Senate has not. The Senate may or may not go with what the House does.
Okay.
Usually there are differences, and then they'll have to get together. If they don't get together beforehand with when the Senate approves its budget, it all has to be approved by the end of June, because the state budget begins on July 1st. But this Day of Action is scheduled from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Manpower Park, centered kind of towards the front of the park and East Main Street. I am guessing that there will be sign carriers out there sending their message to all those motorists that pass on East Main Street.
Sure.
That was what happened, back in, I think, April the 12th is when they had that rally. But it's more than that. At that rally back on the 12th, and imagine on this one too, there's going to maybe be other issues up. If there's issues with state government, issues with the federal government, there's lots of changes that have taken place about potential cuts in funding and how things are done, because we have Donald Trump in as president, and he's changed a lot of things. Some people like it, some people don't.
Right.
So there could be demonstrations there about some of the proposals or some of the things that have been done, and that's the democratic process. I would say there was well over 100 at that other rally. And once again, it starts on the public education funding, because they believe that is still an issue. It's not finalized yet, but could be lots of other issues brought up as well. Now, what they will have this time that they didn't have last time it was more of a demonstration. There wasn't a program. But at 1 p.m., that would be on the back end of that rally.
Okay.
There's going to be a town hall type meeting, is how they're describing it, and the Ohio House Minority Speaker, Allison Russo, I believe she's from the Columbus area. She is, there's a Speaker of the House, that's the majority party, which is the Republican. She's on the Democrat side, so she is the minority leader. She will actually be there to make remarks and react to the demonstration. Also, a state senator named Bill DeMora will also be there as well to comment to those who are in attendance.
And this is tomorrow?
This is tomorrow at Manpower Park in Jackson, 11 to 2 p.m. with the town hall type meeting at 1 p.m. at the gazebo. Now, if it is raining hard, they have a rain site. It's Fairgreens Country Club. That would be for the town hall meeting only.
Okay.
So if it's really raining, that is their fallback site,
Gotcha.
with a roof and all. So anyway, we will be covering that event as well in the Telegram. We'll see what happens. All right, one of the things that will be in the Telegram on Saturday, and can't say enough about this program and the 3 women who were honored this year. Last Saturday, 3 women were inducted into the Jackson City School District's Hall of Honor. We've told you about who they were, but this is when it actually happened. The inductees are there on the front row. You have Jean Carmichael on the left. She was secretary/administrative assistant for 47 years, highly respected by all the local superintendents, including the current superintendent, Phil Howard. In the middle, Dr. Debbie Crabtree is holding a picture of her mother, the late Carol Evans. Carol Evans, who was an administrator, teacher for many years in the Jackson City School District, also active in the community in many different ways. She was inducted posthumously into the Hall of Honor, and her eldest child, who was also an educator, Dr. Debbie Crabtree, she's been at it for maybe 40 years, I think. She is the director of special projects for the district. She accepted the honor on behalf of her mother. And on the far right is the incomparable Mary Elizabeth Billman, who is universally loved and respected in the Jackson City School District, especially by all those who are involved in the music end of it.
Yes, absolutely.
She is currently assistant band director, but if there is music happening, she's usually around.
She is.
And so she's very, very modest and unassuming, but as I said, a beloved figure, and she was inducted into the Hall of Honor as well. So that took place on Saturday afternoon at the beginning of the annual Jackson High School alumni program. And so we are going to have that story in our Saturday paper, and we're going to have then three successive articles that are related to that. It is basically an article about each of the inductees and why they were inducted, and it's taken from the short induction speeches that were made.
Cool.
So they certainly deserve that spotlight. Their pictures, by the way, will be up on the wall. They probably already are on the wall of the Commons there, and that's the big room in front of the high school where the cafeteria is, and they got a stage they can do performances. You pass through there when you're going into the gymnasium for basketball. All right. Another thing we want to tell you about that's going on this Saturday, another popular event is the Jaffe Food Giveaway.
Yes.
They do these monthly, usually on the last Saturday of the month. During the warm weather months, I think they start in March and go well into the end of the year. They're going to have one. It will start at 8 a.m. and go till 10 a.m. or until the food runs out, so you don't want to be late for that. It will be held at the Apple Festival building that is located there on McCarty Lane, across from the side entrance to Walmart is a good reference point there. Yes. They're going to be giving away frozen meats, various canned and bagged foods, boxed food products, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and other items. All attendees must have valid IDs to show who they are and that they're from Jackson County. No more than 2 families will be permitted per vehicle. A representative from each family must be present in each vehicle. In other words, one family can't pick it up through another family, although more than one family can be in a vehicle.
Okay.
Because you know that makes it a little bit more efficient, not as many vehicles. And they do preach patience. If you're out and about that area,
It can get pretty hairy
traffic
down there.
will be normally backed up deep on McCarty Lane, usually all the way to Veterans Lane, Veterans Drive and beyond. A lot of times, they're all the way on to Veterans Drive, to make that left turn onto McCarty. So that's going to take place from 8 to 10 a.m. tomorrow. Okay, we want to acknowledge Landon Smith. That's the Jackson High School senior who was in the state tennis tournament.
Yes.
He was in there yesterday. Just tremendous career record and single season record. He was defeated though in his first match up at Worcester. That is where they had it. He lost to a young man from Orange High School at Pepper Pike, Ohio. He was defeated 6-1, 6-1. That's usually about how he defeats his opponents.
Yeah.
But this is the state tournament, the best of the best. But Landon Smith, and this is often under the radar when you have things like football, basketball, and baseball that get more attention. But Landon Smith, listen to this. 4 years, his accolades include 2025's district championship, 4-time All-FAC, 2-time All-FAC Player of the Year, 2-time sectional champion, 4-time district qualifier. He is only the second young man in Jackson High School history to make the state tennis tournament. The other one was Connor Radoon back in 2017.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Also, today, of course, weather not very good, but it usually doesn't make very difference over at Ohio University where they have the turf on the field. Mm-hmm. Today, the Wellston Lady Golden Rockets, remember, are going for a regional championship. If they would win, and they're facing a very tough team, 3-time state champion Wheelersburg, who has not lost a single game this year. That game will be at 5 o'clock at the softball stadium, which is right next to the baseball stadium, by the way. They're on the East Campus at the Ohio University. 5 p.m., if you can get over there. This would be the first time that, in my memory, that Wellston has made it to the state tournament. They haven't been to the regional for quite some time. They have been to the regional before, but now they're going for a regional championship. If you win this, you're one of the final 4 in the state. So the big news is that goes along with that, Total Media will be telecasting and streaming that game. It'll be on the Total Media Sports YouTube channel. We actually did it last Wednesday when they defeated Tuscarawas Valley 11-0. So you want to tune in just before 5 o'clock, and you can see the stream there on the Total Media Sports YouTube channel, and then I'm sure it will be posted afterward for follow-up viewing and listening. So you want to take advantage of that, and we appreciate, our streaming crew doing that. Also want to hype one other thing. Ashley Aldridge, the director of the Lillian Jones Museum, and I didn't ask her to do this, but I'm so glad she did. She has been submitting monthly articles on hometown history. That's what we call her column.
So cool.
And I tell you what, some people think that history and social studies is boring. I'm one that don't, but let me tell you, she makes it interesting. It's well researched and well written, and we really appreciate her doing that. And this month's submission, which is in the last paper in May, it'll be in this paper on Saturday. You want to check it out. The 3 food things that Jackson County is known for that are distinctive: the veal, the ski pop, and the bubble.
Yep.
She tells the story of how they came to be.
Oh, cool.
So it is very nice with photos and all. Super, super article. That'll be in Saturday's paper, and you want to check that out. And I also want to emphasize, I think we have a picture of this, Adrian, the Holzer thing at Fruits Pharmacy. If you can, that's on the old, there you go. There it is right there. I want to show you this here because there's some people who are confused. Fruits Pharmacy in Wellston closed, unfortunately, on May the 5th.
Yes.
Holzer is in that building. It is still open. You can see it on the big sign there in front. But it is still open there at that site for the time being, at least. And they want to get that word out because some folks may have thought that everything in that building closed. But it was separate. They leased space in there, I believe it, and their lease continues for a little while. I know the last information I had that Fruce planned to sell that building, but for now, Holzer is in there. And we did get a statement from Holzer shortly after that. We asked for it because people were obviously wondering what's going to happen with the Holzer clinic that's
Right.
there. They said they are committed to stay in Wellston. So they're going to be there
Good
somewhere.
deal.
And right now, they're still there at 2nd Street in what used to be the Fruits building.
Okay.
So let me say, I think we covered all that we have to. We have more, but it will have to wait. But I won't be here Monday. I'll be away. But Jeremiah Shaver, if I can talk him into it, will be here to talk about the news.
That sounds amazing.
And one of the things that'll be in this paper too, I didn't talk about, we may show you some pictures on Monday because you know I'm a softie for the high school graduations and those kids that lead the class. The last of our 4 2-page sections on the high school graduations will be in Saturday's paper. It's on the Wellston High School graduation.
Wonderful.
And they had 5 honor students as well who had words of wisdom, wise beyond their youth, you might say.
I would say so.
So read them and you'll be a better person.
Love that. Okay.
All right, so there you are.
Well, thanks, Pete. We appreciate that. Definitely a rainy Friday out there. I don't know what to tell you if you don't like rain. Maybe stay inside. But none of us are that sweet. We won't melt.
Right, well, we don't have windows, but we've got a metal roof, so we know it's raining.
We do.
Right.
Absolutely. So have a wonderful and safe weekend, and we will be right back here on Monday. So we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.